My daughter just texted me and said she has a test for a chapter that she didn't read. She made brownies to take to her friends and she forgot them on the kitchen counter. And on top of all that, they just had a fire drill and it's raining. And then she said something to the effect of waking up to BS and wanting it all to stop. And I was just like, look, perspective is everything, my child. If these things are enough to break you, then it's going to be a very long life, no matter how short it is. Now let that sink in. You may spend another 24 hours or less left on this earth, or you may spend another 24 years or more left on this earth. How you view it will determine how those 24 will go. So have a blessed week. It's Monday. Who said Mondays are bad, but somebody told you Mondays are bad? My cousin says happy new beginnings because every Monday is a new day to start a brand new week. So happy new beginnings, y'all. What if you're ready to change, but your partner's not? Jay and I aren't necessarily on the same page. He's progressive in the respect that he's willing to eventually get to where everybody else is, but he's a little bit slower because I am dictating to him, hey, we're shifting how we run this household. And, we don't want to be dictated to. We don't want to be told. We don't want to be told what we have believed to be true our entire life, how we have functioned our entire life. Remember, Dre's kids are grown, so he has raised 3 children the way that he's raised 3 children. And so now I'm coming in when our children are 5 and 3, so we've definitely been raising them however we choose to raise them. And I'm saying, hey, how we've been doing this isn't working. We got to switch this up. So what I have had to accept was how I move isn't how he moves, and to not criticize him. I don't necessarily agree with everything he does. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says. He doesn't necessarily agree with everything I do. He doesn't agree with everything I say. But who's to say that I'm right and he's wrong? I do believe coming from a place of love is beneficial no matter how you cut it. But the key is not to criticize. But as a child, if you want to start repairing the relationship with your siblings, go ahead and go to your parent and say, hey, I want to start repairing the relationship with my siblings. I want to build a stronger relationship with you. You can have a voice. And if they shut you down, come back a week later and say, I want to repair my relationship with you. And they're going to say, ain't nothing wrong with our relationship. Well, I feel there is, and I think my feelings are valid. It's okay for you to articulate yourself, and I know I'm not in your household, and I don't know your situation, so play it by ear, but it's okay. Just because you're a child doesn't mean you don't have a voice. This morning, I was talking to Dre, and I was like, man, that video that I posted about being a bad mom, the numbers are going up. And Dre's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I posted a video that's really exploring some of the mistakes that I made with Bailey raising her. And I was like, I really messed her up. And Jay's like, ain't nothing wrong with that girl. And isn't that so typical? We think that injury to our children or to ourselves is only physical. We think if we're not physically abusing our child and going ham on our kids, then we're not damaging them. So from Dre's perspective, I've done nothing wrong. And I get it. Everybody's going to come in the comments, you haven't done anything wrong. You're learning. Let me have my evolution. Can I please use my language and my whatever is necessary? See, that's the problem. I done got on a whole new tangent because I'm passionate about this shit. Allow somebody to have the space to express themselves in the vernacular, in the vocabulary that they choose to use. That is something, because different words have power, right? So if I have to use the words that I'm a mean, bad mom in order for me to get shocked out of my comfort zone and shift how I'm raising my freaking kids, then that's the language that I'm going to use, because that language has enough power for me to shift how I'm raising my kids. So anyway, let people have their process. Celebrate their process. Don't dictate their language. Language is important. I'm definitely going to post a video about that. But if somebody is processing and evaluating and going through what's necessary for them to get to the next level, let them. I don't need y'all to make me feel warm and fuzzy about the bullshit I did. I did some bullshit. I'm owning my shit. And I don't need to feel warm and fuzzy about it. And my panties are big enough to where I'm owning my shit. So anyway, we have to understand that the damage, the injury that we're inflicting on our children is psychological. It's emotional. I know 100% my child suffers from anxiety because of me. And I thought because I wasn't abusing her physically that the things that I was doing wasn't causing psychological trauma, but it was. So you can't say here, ain't nothing wrong with that kid when you don't know what this kid is going through because of the things that I've done. Anyway, so back to the conversation with Dre. He's like, ain't nothing wrong with her, and I just left it alone because me trying to impress what I feel on you, you're not really going to listen to me. Let's be real. When somebody says something that conflicts with what you believe to be true, you're not really listening. Or you're listening just enough to have a rebuttal. So if I know that going into the conversation, why would I even use my words to have a conversation that's unnecessary and potentially could cause an argument? So when I say it doesn't matter, I'm not saying your feelings and views don't matter. I'm saying if you know your feelings and views on this particular subject is going to cause an argument and ruin the energy, does it matter? Is it really that important? And it's case by case. Sometimes what I gotta say is important enough. Sometimes I don't give a, you gonna hear what the hell I gotta say. And sometimes I'm gonna just be quiet because it ain't worth disrupting whatever the is going on. Now, I still have issues with shutting down and just getting quiet, but that's my second step. My first step, or my typical reaction, is to go in. I'm going to make my point and you're going to hear me. I don't care. I have definitely walked behind Dre and be like, you gon' while he's walking away. You gonna hear me. And the day may come again. Day by day, play by play. But then my next evolution from verbalizing things, I'm going to get quiet, but then I'm going to be resentful in my silence. And it's okay to be upset because you're repressing yourself. Repression is not warm and fuzzy. But repression to me is the second step to evolving to being okay with not exhibiting that past behavior. Because even though repression doesn't feel good, it's for the betterment of the whole. The whole is better off because the unit shut its mouth. And so while you're not saying things verbally and you're angry because you're not saying what you want to say, you're also talking to yourself in your head like you're being quiet because you don't want to start an argument. You're being quiet because you want to say isn't necessary. You're being quiet because you're shifting directions and you're making your home a better place. Self-speak is mandatory in evolving and changing and shifting your life. Because you got to talk your ass off a ledge. And like I said earlier, I don't know if it's in this video or another, but some voices aren't powerful enough to make you shift, but your voice should be powerful enough to make you shift. And then the next progression is you've been silent resentfully, and now you're just silent because you know not responding to this is the best practice. It may not be warm and fuzzy, but it's the best practice, and that feels good. You're able to feel confident and comfortable in knowing that you made a progressive step for yourself and your family.